Hello everyone, and welcome back to another What Kind of Content Is It Today video. And it's purses. Today we're going to be talking about purses. As you may have heard in other videos and other vlogs, me expressing a desire to create more diverse, various types of content for you all, focusing on other niche interests that I have that I like to think that other people might find interesting as well. One of those things being fashion, thrifting, and purses. I have had a long, loving relationship with handbags of varying degrees of designerness, and I have wanted to include more fashion and style-related content anyway, as well as talking about, thrifting and sustainability. We've been discussing this for the extended period of time that this channel has existed, and I figured what was a nice, easy, straightforward way to kind of just go into that content. And I figured if I'm going to be talking about purses and discussing things like that on my channel, I might as well introduce you to some of my favorites. And one of my favorite brands now, though probably about 5 to 8 years ago, I would have thought I would have had nothing to do with this brand, and that is Coach. May have something to do with the fact that I did grow up in like the mid-2000s Coach era. I was born 1990, so I was around for some of what I feel to be some of Coach's more unflattering work that kind of had a dip in quality. But for today's video, what I love most about Coach is their vintage stuff. That is the majority of what I buy. I have a few more contemporary pieces that we'll talk about in another video, but today I just wanted to focus on the collection I have curated of vintage items. Because these things are vintage, I'm not going to be able to do links down below. For the bags that I know the names of, I will say them. For those that I don't know, I will not even attempt to try to remember. As I talk about said bag, I will look up and find name, year of manufacturing if possible. Hopefully information that will be useful to any of y'all should you be interested in going on into the vintage Coach purchasing whatever secondhand market. But enough with talking, and let's get into doing. And when it comes to Coach and it comes to vintage Coach, I have a very strong soft spot for probably late 80s, 90s through the early 2000s. If you haven't guessed it now, I like considering myself a 90s Y2K mashup garbage fire. And with that being said, I figured we would start out with this wonderful one right here. One of my favorite Coach pieces. I am very love-hate relationship with the whole monogram, and that's not just with Coach, that's with like Gucci, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, anything where it's like obvious branding. It can be tacky, but I like it to be like tacky in a good way, because like this, you look at it and you're like, it's 2004 again. It actually looks really cute with what I'm wearing. It's got the really nice leather accent details here, leather here. Again, just all sorts of fantastical details that I love. Typically when it comes to vintage Coach and when it comes to the majority of bags that I like to buy, I like leather. I'm going to spend a lot of money on a bag. I want it to be worth the money that I spend. This is one exception to the rule. This older chocolate brown CC monogram does something for me in a variety of ways. And as such is to this day one of my it has so many lovely, wonderful details. I need to pull this bad boy out and use it some more. This is also one of the only Coaches I have that I actually have this bag in just one colorway. I don't even know if they make this. I think they do. I probably have a couple others on Mercari that I have liked, but they're probably more expensive. But I have it in just the one color, which is, sort of not the norm when you think about the fact that I suffer from a significant case of, if I like it, I'll just get it in another color. And one thing that vintage Coach does very well, that honestly just Coach does very well, is they do the same bag in a variety of colors. Now, thankfully, I have a select few favorite colors, and we're not out here collecting all the colors like we would have done. But for this specific bag, which is seriously one of my absolute favorite impractical, like little teeny weeny puny a la Fendi baguette bag. I'm going to be doing full purse reviews at some point. We're going to talk about the Coach Soho. I think this is the original Soho because they've got a shit ton of incarnates. The Soho Hamptons, the Soho Chelsea, all different kinds. They take the one name and then they tag another name on top of it and it's a different bag, but it's the same bag. But this, I just absolutely, if you want a Fendi and you want that like Y2K whatever era, this is a stupid, small, tiny, ridiculous handbag. I think this is a great viable option. I love the leather on these. Now, I'm pretty sure if I'm not mistaken, this is like early 2000s. It's got the lovely little hang tag. I love the thick, very obvious stitching. I like the more oval rather than circular rivets here. For it being impractical and whatnot, it actually fits, you know, like wallet, phone, all of that sort of jazz and everything going in there. Keys. Again, for it being a more impractical size, especially since I typically tend to carry something more along this size, it can still hold a lot of stuff. And in those mini reviews, I'll do a what's in my bag, what it fits purse review. So Coach Soho in nice Y2K black. The first one I got, which solidified my love for the Soho, is just this beautiful, I believe this is camel, cognac, some iteration of brown, which y'all know is like my favorite color. Brown, green, and blue. That's my shit. Exact same bag. I love the leather. Part of why I love a lot of the vintage Coach is because it is made with glove tanned leather, which just... I opened a couple packages with my girlfriend and I'd pull it out and just... which is great because she also has a love and appreciation for well-crafted, leather-made things. Then in the best shade of brown and a little bit bigger, again, we make the same bag, but we make it different. This is a really, honestly, just about perfect size going on right here. I love this one so much. I've got ones on my Mercari in different colorways and thus and such. This is a style that I definitely see myself continuing to collect. And typically I'm not a two-tone person or a white bag person, but I did absolutely love the shape and the color of this one. This one is also a Soho, but it's different. Again, it's the same, but it's different. You can see that the thing more or less oval, more circular. Instead of it having the strap like this, it's got it like this and the thin like that. I mean, with a lot of these brands, especially Coach, they redo a lot of their other stuff with little different twists and designs and whatever. I do wish that it was more like this one, but it's not. And they have one like this that I'm not going to buy, at least not right now, because I have this one. But typically, I prefer the design with the oval stripes here and looking on like that. Absolutely love the Coach Soho. One of my absolute favorite, again, on that impractical, practical little bags. The quality, a favorite. And then another, if I like it, I'll get it another color, is this one, which is the Coach Tribeca bag, which also has different versions. So we've got this one right here, which is this beautiful, gorgeous green is my favorite color. I adore so many of the vintage Coach green ones. They're typically harder to find and typically more expensive. I managed to get this one for a pretty good deal because it's got a bit more wear, again, because they're rarer. They don't pop up as much. This or like any of the natural glove tan leather like this that's done in blue. Those ones don't pop up a lot. They sell pretty quickly and they're typically more expensive. Like I said, this one was less expensive. This is like the perfect tote bag size. This one is zippered, which I really, really appreciate in a like tote bucket bag. I don't think this is a bucket bag. This is more tote. I love the green. I love the vintage. I like the more subtle branding. Then if we're talking about a really nice 90s looking bag, the other Tribeca style is this one with just the single strap going on here. It is a snap instead of a zip. I just really, really like the look of this, how it has the 3 sections that gives it a little bit of texture, a little bit of nuance, rather than it just being a straight piece of leather. I adore the hang tags. That's one part of their branding that I enjoy, and it always disappoints me when something doesn't have the hang tag, though apparently go online and find those by themselves. Again, just a really nice staple. I think it's very classic, very chic. I like the very solid, stiff round to it, that it's just gonna hold its shape and really support itself. And it again, part of why I love Coach leather so much is, oh, it just feels so good. And in another color, because of course, absolutely same specs, all that jazz. Soft, beautiful. Part of why I love vintage Coach, especially from this era, is you can beat these bags. Now, I like treating my bags nicely. If I take care of them, they will take care of me. But I also like the fact that I can be rougher with a lot of these vintage Coach bags, because the quality of the leather is such that you can beat it, it can take a beating, but then with the right amount of TLC, you can bring them back to life again. That's one of the main things that really appeals to me about vintage Coach, is the style, the aesthetic, the quality of the materials, the construction, and the fact that you can, again, put work into them and restore them and bring them back. If I like it, I'll just get it in another color. This one here is actually one of the first vintage Coach I ever got. I take the straps off. I put this one on just so I could show you guys. But when I have them stored, I take the straps off and put them inside with the stuffing, just because that's easiest. This is the Legacy Hobo, I believe. The Legacy Hobo is one of those bags that you type it in, and there are like 5, 6, 8, 10 different iterations. It's like Legacy Hobo this, Legacy Hobo that, but it's all not the same Legacy Hobo. But here we have this one in this nice, again, smooth, buttery, delicious soft. I actually need to clean and condition this one. I will be having videos talking about like purse upkeep and some purse restoration projects. Beautiful, gorgeous leather, lovely camel color. But if we have camel color, I live for the vintage Coach chocolate brown. I mean, is this just not the most beautiful, supple, amazing? And this bag is like 20 plus years old, and look how nice it is. You can see it's got some patina to it. But again, I'm gonna show some videos where I'm like, this is how it looks, and then let me show you what it looks like all jazzed up and smoothed and made beautiful and conditioned and supple and delicious. When you start with good construction and you start with quality materials, it is a lot easier to keep it looking good. This is probably one of my favorite just everyday bags. You just throw it on and you're good to go. I really like Coach's bags that have these flat bottoms here with this rolled ridge, because it really is very sturdy and it doesn't lend itself to misshaping the leather by what you put into it. Super excited to show you all two of my absolute favorites. I actually stumbled upon this one by accident on Mercari. I had been looking. I'm part of a purse on subreddit, a handbag subreddit. I will leave it down below. And on there, the Coach tabby is, I'll insert a picture, is a really popular style and model. However, it is a newer model, and it is like more expensive even when buying secondhand. And typically I prefer purchasing secondhand, especially when it comes to like designer goods. So I was kind of just scrolling and trolling and whatever, going through Mercari, and this gorgeous, beautiful, amazing one showed up, which I'll have this here, and you can see the picture here. You know, it's kind of shades of the same sort of aesthetic. And this one is even so much more me. The bottle green with the brown and the clasp. This has everything going for itself, except for the fact that the strap can't be removed. But this is like my perfect everyday bag. My wallet, my phone. I've got 2 little baggies full of stuff there. Again, most of these bags you're going to see, I'm going to do, you know, little mini, what does it fit, what's in my bag, you know, bag review videos. It's got this perfect thing here where I always put my phone. This is the Sheridan May crossbody bag. And I have it in the green and the brown and the, I guess this is brown and brown. They also have one that's red that kind of looks similar to this. It's like more of a rust red. They have one that's blue and brown that I really want. I have my eyes on. This is one of those ones that it's such a practical staple for me that, again, kind of like the Soho one, I'm like, I will take one in every color that I like and in every color that I think would work with my, and it just the quality, the fact that these things, I mean, yes, they've been taken care of nicely, and obviously I like taking care of my bags, but the fact that you can have something that's however many years old, and if you purchase good materials and good construction, then you're going to have stuff that's easier to take care of and last longer. And this is everything I love and could possibly want in a bag. It's just so freaking beautiful. I love the way the hang tag looks. It's just, again, I saw it, my mouth dropped. I immediately knew this was a better option than the tabby for me, and I was able to get this one and that one for significantly less than just one tabby would be. This one's just a quick little one by itself. I just loved it because it was beautiful and little and green. I think I liked it a little bit more online than I did in person, if I'm going to be honest. I am going to be doing a video talking about my most disappointing purse purchases, so if you're interested in seeing that, definitely let me know down below. But it's just a nice, simple little crossbody. It's got the nice tag there. Again, it's not my favorite. I really like it. It's cute. It's a nice size going on right there. Just not a bag that like leaves me completely drooling. I have no idea what name or style or iteration or what year this is from. Looking back, I probably wouldn't have paid as much as I did for this if I had like seen it in person. This was a Mercari snag, like most of mine are Mercari, Poshmark. It's nice, it's leather, just not one of my favorites out of my collection. I'm gonna get these two out of the way because they're kind of like one-offs and they're not entirely my favorite out of my collection. I'm not sure what the name of this one. I think it might be Chelsea something. Again, there are like however many different versions of the Chelsea. This one here I picked up because I absolutely loved the color, the hang tag. I love this, although I hate the fact that just the one, just the one side. We couldn't afford to do two sides like Hermes. We're just the one, which I didn't know before I purchased, and afterwards I was like, well, that defeats the purpose, so we just keep it locked like that. This is again another purse that I probably wouldn't have paid as much as I did for it had I felt it. The straps are thinner than I would have liked, especially compared to how heavy the hardware is. It's just not a very practical feeling handbag. It's a beautiful color. It holds a lot of crap, but it doesn't hold its shape very well. And I think that pictures and visually does this bag a lot more justice. I'm gonna kill you! Ham! Get down! Get down! How are you gonna get down now? Hammy! You little nefarious chaos gremlin! There is nothing up there for you! How about we don't do that again? He literally jumped from here up to there because he cannot stand, don't you scratch that. He cannot stand that I am home and awake and not paying attention to him. Anyway, this bag is okay. I absolutely adore the color. I haven't got another one in this style, or you're going to see this one since, because without seeing it in person, when you're buying secondhand, sometimes you just don't know how something's going to feel in your hands. I have it. It's in my collection. I've considered maybe trying to sell it off or whatever, but I do love the color and the absolute, just again, the Y2K madness that it brings into my life. Though this is the first one in that style that I bought because, again, it's that style, but it's a different style. Shades on a theme. Although that same theme, just one. This bag would be like exponentially cooler if it nope, just one. This one is a little bit more, I think, evened out and a little bit better constructed than the green one. I think this is early 2000s. I'm not entirely sure. I am not a Coach year aficionado. But with this, you can't really see on camera, but it is a bit two-toned. I like me a good hobo. It is typically a bit more relaxed than I go for now. This one is a good candidate for not a restoration video, but an upkeep video where I condition it and clean it so y'all can see the difference when that's done. It's pretty, it's beautiful, it's very much my style and my aesthetic. I'm just not entirely sure how I feel about it all around. It is beautiful though. If I like it, I'll just get it in another color. These, like those other ones, this is also a iteration of the Coach Legacy Crossbody. This is probably one of my favorite, most trusted, die-hard, true, just take out and carry and swing around bags. I have beaten these up so much and then conditioned them again and brought them back to their absolute lovely lives. The quality and the construction of this leather is immaculate. Again, the gloved hand leather and the natural, the cowhide vintage Coach bags are some of my favorite because it's a leather that's durable and beautiful that you can beat up and bring back to life. And these all have nice long straps. It's just that when I'm not using them, it's easier to keep them stored with the straps in there. You've got a lot of different rivets, so I like changing up the length and giving it a little bit of customization. If I'm feeling extra frisky and fancy, I'll take the strap from like this one and put it on this one to give it that cool color block effect. It's got that nice, great, strong, flat bottom that Coach does really well on a lot of their vintage stuff. These are just really good, solid staples, especially if you're like starting out in collecting vintage and starting out in collecting vintage Coach, because vintage Coach, I always say when it comes to handbags, older is less expensive unless it's vintage. And then it's just as expensive, if not more expensive, than buying something brand new. But I think I got both of these for probably around 50 bucks each, which is, you know, a lot for a handbag, but a pretty good introductory price. And in the same vein, one that I love just as much, maybe even more, this is the Legacy Hobo Janice, which is, it doesn't have the outer pocket. It has a much wider, kind of like an accordion bottom, which this thing fits a huge amount of stuff. It's got really great construction. Again, those like lovely, nice, thick, strong, sturdy lines that help this hold a lot and keep its shape while also being able to be manipulated. Nice, thick zipper. Again, so many elements about the vintage Coach that I love just overall. It's got that nice detachable strap. I appreciate a bag that has a detachable strap because that does make for a lot easier storing. And we're just talking about everything just leather and beautiful and construction and just again, talking about this just makes me want to wear and create all kinds of outfits to wear with my nice bags. But also in the same vein, this is a newer version of the Coach Legacy Hobo Crossbody. I think this is from the mid-2000s. I'm not entirely sure, but this is not, in my personal opinion, as nice. This was earlier on in my vintage Coach collecting, so I didn't have as good a grasp on the time periods and the leather that are used in different time periods, because I consider the majority of their earlier vintage bags, especially in the 80s and the 90s, to be some of the best, just straightforward quality leather goods. Like, forget branding and everything and like that, just bags that are solid quality. And this is nice. I have it, I keep it, I use it. It's just not as luxurious, not as like you feel it and you're like, oh, yes. The craftsmanship, behold. It's nice. If I'd paid more for it than I did, I probably would have been a little bit more upset because it was just I expected it to feel more like this leather, whereas this is a little bit softer, a little bit less sturdy's not the right word, stiff, just not not the same. I don't know. I'm so sorry. This is my first video talking about purses and such like that. I like it. It's nice, but it's not as nice as this. And now last, but certainly not least on this wonderful train, I don't even know what this one's called. Obviously, I will insert whatever here, but this gloriousness right here, had no idea I would like something anyway near this much until I saw it. Obviously, I love all the subtle details of this bag, the thick, smooth, flat bottom, just the straight pieces of leather on here. Again, it holds a lot while this still helping to have it maintain its shape and be very easy to do repairs and upkeep on. It looks absolutely fantastic on the arm. It has a flap closure like this, which I love and appreciate, and it also has a zipper that opens all the way up. This is again one of those bags that if I like it, I'll just get it in another color, and I would love to continue buying it in as many colors as they have that I would like to have. If they had this in green, I would probably lose my mind. Now, it would probably be like $500 because vintage coat sellers are like, ooh, green vintage coach. Obviously, we're going to charge the world's biggest premium. First time I saw this, I just absolutely fell in love. This is the first one that I bought. And then I found out they had it in this beautiful, like, ox blood magenta. It's coming off a lot lighter on camera than it is in person. But again, beautiful details, beautiful, clean, simple, classic lines. I'm not gonna lie, these ones I like to occasionally just pull out and look at and touch and remind myself how lucky I am. Adore the actually, ooh, look at that. That matches real nice. Love the big blocky stitching, the bit on the sides here, the fact that you can change it up, maybe not that much. Everything about it, again, just everything I love. So if I love it like this, obviously I'm gonna love it like that, which if I could have it in this size in every color, I would as well. Exact same thing, exact same bag, just in a small iteration form. I used to not be into smaller bags like this or like the Soho, but since joining that purse subreddit, I've kind of got a appreciation for a wider variety of style of bags. And I do really enjoy the clueless vibe we are going on for right here. I just absolutely live for this style. I live for the quality of the leather, the craftsmanship. Again, had you asked me however many years ago if I would be this in love with Coach, no, absolutely no freaking way. But clearly that has changed, and clearly I do. And that is, to my knowledge, at least the majority of, hopefully all, of my vintage Coach bags. I just thought this was a nice, straightforward, easy way to, again, kind of start branching out into other aspects without being too complicated. I love purses. I have loved purses for a very long time. I'm very excited to kind of start bringing this in so we can talk a bit more about doing reviews, talking about ethics of shopping, sustainability, all sorts of things. I enjoy shopping. I enjoy fashion. I look forward to be able to sharing hopefully maybe some of my wisdom, or at least my experience with y'all about shopping secondhand and vintage and all the things that lie in with that. If you're interested in seeing other collections, if you want to see me talk about, I've got more like, this is Fendi here, so I've got more like fancier, bougier type bags as well, which I'm sure I'll be talking about and reviewing at some point. But enough with that. Thank you guys so much for watching. For everyone who has made it this far, give yourself a big giant gold star and tell me something interesting down in the comments below, or just say hey. As I always seem to say, I look so forward to creating more, better, dynamic content for you all, stuff that makes me happy, stuff that I hope reaches other like-minded people. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video or vlog. Bye!